Hey, El Cinephile Mike is here, and it is day 35 of Awards Season Reviews Season 3. 97 reviews coming at you in 97 days, covering many of the films contending for award recognition this season. Now, as some of the films I'm talking about may still be in theaters or be awaiting a theatrical re release, all statistical information I am providing is current within 7 days of recording and posting. This includes the critical response, the box office information, insight into its awards run so far, my predictions on potential nominees and wins based on where we fall in the season, and as always, these reviews are spoiler free. Also, make sure you check out my website, cinephilemike.com, where you can find the ever important and beloved Where Can I Watch It spreadsheet 2024 edition, where you can track all the nominations and wins for the films as well as see how to watch them. So, we have reached the end of our fifth theme week. We are now done with Feel Good Week, and hasn't it felt great to look at all these films that after you watch them, you just feel so much lighter and better than you did before you watched them? They just give you the warmth, wrap you up, and give you that hug. Oh, and for the last day, I am happy to be chatting about Magnolia Pictures' Thelma. Written and directed by Josh Margolin, based on a real experience in his life, Thelma was released over the summer, and by the end of its initial theatrical run, the film made $9,273 domestically and an additional $3,414,682 internationally for a worldwide total of $12,416,755. The film currently sits with a 98% critical rating from 198 reviews and an 83% popcorn meter culled from over 250 audience reviews. So this film is fresh, just like its protagonist. Award season wise, the film was nominated for Best Indie Feature at the Astra Awards, several other nods in various categories from different festivals, and is currently nominated for Best Comedy at the Critics' Choice Awards and Best Lead Performance for June Squibb at the Independent Spirit Awards. And also worth noting, Thelma was named one of the top indie films of the year by the National Board of Review. So, what is this one about? Well, Thelma Post, played by June Squibb, is a strong, independent nonagenarian who lives in Los Angeles. Her grandson, Danny, played by Fred Etchinger, is, I don't know if I want to say he's a bit of a slacker, but he's a little bit lost. But he is entirely devoted to his grandmother, loves spending time with her, and while maybe babying her a bit too much, is willing to do whatever she needs. And Thelma is very close with him. So when she receives a phone call from a distressed Danny that he has been arrested and a defense attorney tells her to mail $10,000 cash for his defense, nothing stops Thelma from doing so. However, once the money is sent, she learns that she was scammed. Now, the police inform her that this happens and that there isn't really anything they can do. And so Thelma, not being one to sit down, and a lover of Tom Cruise films, decides to take matters into her own hands. Now, her family, including Danny, her very overprotective daughter Gail, played by Parker Posey, and her son in law Alan, played by Clark Gregg, tell her to just move on. But this isn't enough for her. Cleverly sidestepping her family, Thelma will reach out to an old friend, Ben, played by Richard Roundtree in one of his final films, as he passed the year prior to the film's release. She gets her hands on a scooter and travels with Ben to Van Nuys to get her money back. And along the way, as Thelma goes on her journey, there will be many laughs and many grasping moments as she begins to realize some of the limitations she has being of a certain age. Squibb, in her first leading role, A Crime, at the age of 94, plays Thelma with all the gusto of a character at least 2 or 3, maybe even more decades younger. Nothing gets in her way, be it a flight of stairs, a high bed, a gun, or the struggles to figure out how to use a computer, even if she doesn't always see the X right away to close that browser window. Every time she is told no, it just makes her go that much stronger. And it's worth saying, a lot of the, for lack of a better term, but a lot of the stunts, she actually did a lot of these herself. Go June. Every time, you know, it's just fascinating to see the spirit in this woman. And along this journey, helping her out, the former Shaft himself, Roundtree, trying to be the voice of reason, but he also understands this is something that needs to be done. These two have an incredible rapport, Squibb and Roundtree, and they really create a unique relationship in Thelma and Ben. And it helps the movie move, and I would almost say too quickly. I mean, they keep it crisp at 98 minutes, but there are some moments that make you wonder if there's more footage somewhere on the cutting room floor that I would have liked. This is one of those rare times where I'm like, I would have liked a few more minutes in this world. Doesn't lower my rating. It's just that's the kind of world that first time director Margolin created. And, probably because he had the real life experience of his grandmother, Thelma, being, a victim of a phone scam. And as a result, you can see what loving detail was written into the role of Thelma that truly gives Squibb a chance to shine. I mean, there are times when you watch the film, you almost think it's gonna tip into farce, and I have to say, Margolin walks a nice line to really ground everything. And while nothing that happens seems theatricalized, and while they do play with the comedic tropes, it doesn't shy away from being an honest portrayal of the challenges of aging, that happen in front of you. I mean, there are a few moments that are scary and, you know, say nothing. The final showdown, oh, that's enjoyable. Um, but in addition to Squibb, I have to say I would be remiss if I didn't mention the supporting performances. It was a joy to see Greg and Posey leaning into their, comedic timing, which we know they've done time and time again, and yet doesn't well, maybe more so Greg than Posey going over the top. Posey does a little bit, but it's okay when we see like what is behind it. There's just a lot of love here. You can tell if this was a real family, there's a lot of love. So, will this love translate into awards chances? Well, personally, I believe she and the film were snubbed by the Golden Globes. While I don't think the film will receive any Oscar nods, I hope the ISAs recognize Squibb's work. I think there was a missed opportunity to nominate this film for Best Comedy, especially when you look at some of the films that were nominated for Best Comedy this year. I'm not going to get into that. I'll give that commentary when I'm ready. But comedies like this, they deserve more recognition than they get. And I wish this one would receive more. I don't think it will, but the recognition it's received, I'm happy to see that it got. All in all, Thelma is a delight that will be enjoyed by the whole family. Presenting strong characters who will not be sidelined due to age is a refreshing take to see. And, all of these are the reasons why this fits into our feel good movie week. And I'm so happy that I get to end theme week on a strong 5-star film, which is what Thelma is for me. If you have not seen Thelma yet or would like to recatch it, it is currently streaming on Hulu and Disney Plus. All right, so we're moving right along. One more theme down, 35 films down, 62 to go. If you like what you heard here, please click the subscribe button, like the video, spread the word. You can follow me, Cinephile Mike, on all social media platforms and on Letterboxd. And again, find lots of great information on my website, cinephilemike.com. All right, everyone, until next time, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.